Okay, so I've been thinking of doing this video for maybe even months at this point. But today, I want to explain why the USFL and the XFL should merge together. Let's go into tomorrow's essential March. So today, I'm going to talk about why, what Lil just said, why there should be an XFL and USFL merger. Now, I think there is a chance of this happening. I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon, but I think it could happen. I think it should happen. Because I think if these spring leagues are going to have a chance of staying alive long term, I think they need to, like, I don't think coexisting is really going to do much. I don't think coexisting is the right way to do it. They need to come together. I know a lot of people be like, oh, USFL is his own thing. Yeah. No, I don't watch that much spring league football, but I know enough that they need to merge. But from what I've seen, XFL is more gimmicky and USFL is more traditional. That's from what I've seen. So, yeah, but if they do actually merge, I might watch the season. I think it's hard to keep up I believe, for like a hardcore football fan, except on USFL at the same time. So yeah. And so I'm gonna talk about what stadiums they should be in. Uh, yeah, and basically things I can think of. So yeah. Anyways, let's do this. Oh shoot. All right, so first up, let's start with the XFL teams. Let's start with stadiums. Let's start with the XFL teams. So I think I'm going to put most of these in the same stadium. I might move around some. Let's start with the Arlington Renegades. I like now you could argue they could with the Jerry World. I don't know if there's the high enough demand to go there, but I think Choctaw which is the old Globe Life Park where the Rangers used to play. It is kind of a sad story now what happened. It's just it really wasn't meant for summer baseball. It was too hot. I've been there in the summer. It's hot. Um, it's just kind of a sad story or sad ending to their tenure with the Rangers. I mean, Rangers got a really good stadium, go by field now. But Choctaw, I do think it deserves to live on as long as it possibly can. And I think that the XFL, I still think that Choctaw is a very nice stadium. I think it's a pretty good stadium still. I think Arlington Renegades is a good spot for them to go. It's on that drive where like because if y'all live in if y'all know you'll know like literally on the same street basically are Choctaw Stadium where the XFL team plays, the Renegades, um, Globe Life Field where the Rangers play, and AT&T Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play. So you got a lot of things going. Like literally at one point there was a Rangers game, the XFL game, and the Taylor Swift concert go on the same day in Arlington. It was crazy. Yeah. But Arlington, I think they should stay there. DC Defenders, keep it out of field. There's absolutely no reason to go to FedEx. That place is a dumpster fire. Now it does have a bigger seating capacity. I actually think, but there's no reason to move there. I actually think the Commanders need to move to Audi Field just to get out of that dumpster, at least just temporarily. It's a pretty nice state. It's a pretty nice stadium for what it is anyway, from what I can tell. Uh, FedEx is bad, and then they can build their super stadium while they still stay in a temporary. Yeah. The DC, I think it's a decent stay for them. Now, maybe one day they can move to the Super Stadium, but we'll see if the XFL is even around at the time. Orlando Guardians, I think they're in Camping World right now, if I'm mistaken. Uh, where like Bands of America regional is, of course, it's the first thing I mentioned from like a band person. Um, and let's see. Uh, uh, and they also host like they're gonna host LSU versus Florida State, part two of the saga, I guess, the summer Camp World Stadium. And then they also host two bowls, a Cheez It Bowl and a Cheez It Citrus Bowl, which is it's a lot of Cheez Its. Holy cow. So I love Cheez Its. So that's good. Yeah. Where do the XFL teams play? Uh, let me see. Oh, okay. So I believe there. I don't know where else they would be. Yeah. They are in Camping World Stadium. Yeah, that's Campbell Stadium. I know it. Oh my God, it opened 1936. It's crazy. I know it's an old stadium, but it's probably gone. It looks like it's got through renovation, that's for sure. I think it's a good place to go. I don't really know where else to go in Orlando. I think Campbell's a good stadium. I think I even argue an NFL team could go there. It's like it's a decent stadium. There's that. So I do like Camping World as the option as the stadium. I think they should stay there if this happens. Yeah. The San Antonio Brahmas. That is a weird mascot name. What do I know? They are in the Alamo Dome right now. Alamo Dome is kind of a sad legacy because their goal at first was to get an NFL team. They did get temporarily, like just for the Saints when after Katrina, after right after Katrina happened, like that. But I think the Alamo Dome is an underrated stadium. It's not like the most exciting stadium, but it's very under. It is underrated. It's a good stadium. I've been there before. I've actually played on the field before. Not football, marching band. They do host like Bands America Super Regional. They also host the Alamo Bowl, and it's pretty much in downtown. It's right by the Alamo as well. So I do like that place. I think Alamo Dome can also host an NFL team too. I think. I think it's more unlikely now. I think like in the '90s when it actually opened, yes, they for sure could host an NFL team. This might be a good place, like a temporary stay, or like a stay, like I don't know. But Alamo Dome's a solid stadium. It's good. They also host UTSA. I'm not sorry to mention that. And they used to host the Spurs back in the day, but that was just wasn't exactly meant for a basketball team. And they actually did, and the Spurs actually did come back to Alamo Dome a couple months ago. Yeah, one game. Alamo Dome, it's a solid stadium, underrated. I give it a B tier, honestly. Yeah, it's a good stadium, so yeah, it's a good place to go. Plus, they just hosted the XFL championship as well. Seattle Sea Dragons, the one and only team that actually is in the NFL, is in an NFL stadium, as it plays their home games in an NFL stadium, like a current NFL stadium. It has 69,000 people. Nice. I think that's the biggest of all these. It's got to be the biggest. Uh, um, yeah, it's the biggest. But I do like that place. I've seen it. I've seen the outside of it twice, or I think I was at Seattle twice. But it's a good stadium. It's still relatively young for a stadium. It's in shape. It's only about 21 years old, which is not that old for a stadium if you think about it. Yeah. They host Seahawks, Seattle Sounders, their FC, and their OL, and the OL Reign. Yeah, a lot of times I haven't. Only thing I know about is the Seahawks. I didn't know about the others. Yeah. But Lumen Field, it's very good with like it's a very loud stadium. When they pack the place, obviously they're not gonna sell out. Well, they could, but I don't know. Not now, I don't think. But like they could get like 30,000, 40,000. I don't know. But I think they could actually saw the XFL, USFL thing happens just because there's more money being dumped into it. Yeah. But Lumen Field, I like the place. It's a good stadium. The St. Louis Battlehawks at Dome at America Center. This place literally sold out. Sold out. Yeah. They did get ditched after the St. Louis left after the Rams left there. I think it was in 2015. Their last game was, yeah. St. Louis, they didn't really have many things going on. I think St. Louis Battlehawks is their only full-time team there. You know, they are hosting Missouri versus Memphis, I think. I know it's Missouri. I forgot who against. I think it's Memphis. Yeah, but Dome America Center, I've seen it. It also hosts a POA Super Regional. Yeah, it's a nice stadium. I'd probably give it B tier as well. I haven't been inside B or C. I don't know. I think it's a B tier. It's a pretty big stadium. It's I mean I like it. So I mean there's really nowhere else to go in St. Louis, but I think the Dome America Center is kind of a shortened legacy, I guess. I don't know. But like I think it is good stadium. But I think the Dome America Center is a good place to go. And then Vegas Vipers, Cash and Field. I'm I'm just not sold I can host that. I mean, it's just like it's too small. I'm sorry, it's too small. And if you're gonna merge and there's gonna be like more people, more demand, and your team's good, and that's gonna cause a problem. I mean, now it could work, but like I know it might be a little controversial to say this because it might be a little bit too big. I'd say just move them in Allegiant, honestly. I think Allegiant Stadium would be a good place. I mean, it would look weird, but what do I know? I mean, Legion already hosts the Raiders and UNLV games, so if it can host if it can host UNLV games, it could for sure host XFL games. Yeah. It's also right off the street. It's also right by downtown. Or me, I haven't seen the play. I've probably seen the side. I haven't fucking known it because I went to Vegas right before they started building it in 2017. Yeah, but like it's a it's it's a great stadium, honestly. I'm probably gonna go Legion next year for LSU versus USC. Knock on wood. I think that's what we're gonna do. I don't know. I don't know for sure yet, but I would love to go. Yeah. Vipers. I just think the stadium they're in right now, Cashin, is just it's not a bad thing. It's just too small. It doesn't. It's not. It's just too small. It looks like a high school football stadium. Uh, but it's not a bad. I mean, Cashin's not a bad. It's just too small. So I think Allegiant, you can at least get some more people in there. I mean, I don't think you're not going to sell out the place, but might as well have a decent stadium, a good stadium to do it. Now, Houston Roughnecks. This is where I'm gonna transition to USFL because there are two Houston teams. Houston, if we're gonna have this, Houston Roughnecks and Houston Gamblers. Now you could say that you could relocate one of these, probably the Gamblers, if probably the easiest. I'd say you can just keep them in, but if you're gonna merge them, TDECU, I think if like Houston had one team, this would be a good place to do it. But I think if you're gonna have multiple teams, I think you do need to put them in the NRG stadium. I think NRG is an underrated stadium. I've been there once. It's a nice stadium. I went there LSU versus Texas Tech when Patrick Mahomes was still playing at Tech. Yeah. That was my first ever LSU game I attended in person, so that was really cool. You know, it's the Texas Bowl back in the day. Yeah, back in 2015. Yeah. But TDECU, it's a good stadium. I mean, it's not bad. 40,000. I just think that, and it's Houston Cougars, I've always stated. By the way, it's Houston Cougars Stadium. Excuse me. I just think if you're gonna have both two teams, you're gonna have to put them in a big stadium. Like in Los Angeles, if you put both the Rams and Chargers at where was it at? Dignity Park, that was not gonna work. I'm sure no one shows up, but it would look weird. I mean, you could put them in the Coliseum, but if they're gonna build a new stadium, no, it's not worth it. But I think if TDECU, it's a decent stadium. I just think NRG, if you're gonna put two teams, put them in two Houston teams, put them in NRG. Plus, NRG needs good football anyway because the Texans aren't putting any of that. Yeah, I try to like the Texans. It's kind of hard because they're just not very good. Yeah. Anyways, USFL, Birmingham Stallions. I think they are. Now, USFL is very resistant with putting stadiums, like home stadiums. Like last year, they play all the games in one stadium pretty much. I think they play their playoff games in different states. I don't know. I think they play them in Ohio. Birmingham Stallions, I think it's Protective Stadium they're at, which is kind of which if you take it the wrong way, it's kind of a weird name, but yeah. It's in Birmingham. I mean, it yeah, it hosts UAB, so I think Protective is a good spot to do it. I thought it was much older. It says 2021. When did Protective stay? Sorry, just doing research. Oh, really? Oh, I'm thinking of Legion. My bad. Sorry, Legion's what is actually the older one. But I think Protective, it's a good one. Legion's just too old, I think. Just really old. Uh, I don't know the capacity. What's the capacity? Yeah, I mean it's a decent stadium. Let's see. Protective. It's 47,000, so I think it's better suits that. So, yeah. There's that. I mean, you could argue that they could put him in the other one, but it's just that one. The other one's too old. I forgot the name already. But yeah, it's just too old. But Protective is new, so I think you can get him in there. Memphis Showboats. I think they're playing in Memphis Stadium, Memphis Tiger Stadium, which that's fine with me. I know Memphis doesn't have the greatest reputation, but like they got freaking pyramid. Come on. Uh, I think Memphis Stadium. I mean, no one's using it during the off season, and it's a good stadium to do it. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, there's that. And let's see. I know. Okay, sorry, I'm getting confused. I think Memphis Stadium. I don't know what the name of it is, but Memphis Stadium. I think it is. I think that's a good place to do it. So, yeah. I'm sorry. I keep on blocking out all of a sudden. Yeah. Um, for Michigan Panthers, I think they're already playing at Ford Field. Ford Field's a good place to do it. I mean, I don't think. I mean, you could say Michigan Wolverines, but that place will look empty because that's like a giant stadium for capacity. I think it's the uh biggest capacity stadium. I think it is. Uh, I think it's like the biggest um USA. Oh, I hate when those goes back to Bing. Yeah, Michigan State. That place can look empty. I mean, Ford Field is a little smaller, but like it's nice. It's indoor. I think it get really cold in there. So yeah. But Michigan Panthers, I think that's a good place for them to go. I like Ford Field. I think it's an underrated stadium. I give it A tier, but just from the looks of it, yeah. I know it's 20 years old, but it hasn't really aged that much. Yeah, maybe I don't know about the inside, but who knows? Yeah. But Michigan Panthers, I think that's a good place to go. New Jersey Generals. New Jersey Generals, think I don't really know what else to put. I think just put him in MetLife, honestly. I think you could put him at MetLife Stadium. It has 82,000, but like it's still a relatively new stadium. It's only about 13 years old, so it's not that old of a stadium. I think it was opened in 2010. It doesn't really look like that new of a stadium. It looks a little dated for the age. Like if you take a look at that in AT&T, which is built a year before, then it's night and day comparison at that point. But MetLife's not a bad stadium. I think it's gonna come. I think it is gonna age though. But I think New Jersey is a good place to put them. New Orleans Breakers. Now I was debating. Now I thought about the Superdome. Uh, I just love that stadium. Uh, it's going through renovations too. But I think maybe you know what? I'm gonna say it. I think they should play. Well, I don't know. I'm deciding between either the Superdome or Tulane Stadium. I don't know. It's hard to decide. The New Orleans Breakers, that's supposedly my favorite USFL. For the love of God, stop changing the name. That's supposedly my favorite USFL team. Uh, but honestly, I think I think they should put him in Tulane Stadium, Omen Stadium. Now, I think maybe once the Saints are done, or the Superdome's done with renovations, I think at that point you can put him in the Superdome. But I think for now, you could get away with putting Tulane. I think it's a good thing to do anyway. But I just think it's more. I think Yeoman's more good for. It's good for a USFL team. Or I'll talk about the name and all in a second. But yeah, uh, it. I mean, it only holds like 30,000, but it's a good stadium to do it. It looks like a USFL stadium, but yeah, I think it's a good stadium. I think one day, once the XFL, let's use one if it gets real big, and that's when you can move them into Superdome. But I think Yeoman's a good place to do it, which is Tulane Stadium. So, yeah. Um, next up, Philadelphia Stars. I don't really know where else to put them. Put them in Lincoln Financial. Um, I mean, it's it's a good, it's a solid stadium. I give it B tier, maybe A tier. I don't know. I give it like high B tier to low A tier. It's a solid stadium. It has 67,000, but like you got, but if you're gonna have, it says 69,796 on here. Nice, by the way. I know like XFL stadiums already have like that capacity, but USFL, if you're gonna make it bigger, then that's where you have to go. Um, but I think Lincoln Financial is a good place to go. Uh, yeah, but Philadelphia Stars, I think that's a good place for them to go. They can host Temple. I think Lincoln Financial already hosts Temple games too, and obviously the Eagles, but I think they host Temple games as well, so they could put Philadelphia in there. Last but not least, the Pittsburgh Maulers. Um, I'd say you can. I think really the only place is put them at what's it called now? Acrisure Stadium, whatever frick it's called. It used to be called Heinz Field, but it it was a that's one of those things where like Heinz they'll have like those bottles and you had to get rid of them. It just really took some like some flavor, no pun. It just really took some flavor, no pun intended, out of the stadium. Uh, just, I don't know what to say. But Acrisure, it's still a good stadium. I give it it's a solid B tier in my opinion. Uh, uh, so yeah, but I don't know what the capacity is honestly, but like uh but I think it's a good stadium to do it. I mean, 68,400. That's good for the kind of stuff. I think Acrisure Stadium is a good place to do it. So now, what should the league be called? The XFL or the USFL? I think USFL. It just sounds more like a professional league. XFL just sound. No offense to XFL. XFL is a cool name. I just think that USFL is more like could like more like a football league if you want to supersize American League. And 16 teams, that's a good size league. It's not NFL like 32 teams, but still, it's a good size league. I would not complain. Yeah. But yeah. Where so I think it should be like a a 14 to 16 game season. I think it should go from like February to in this February to like the summer. I put, and I think for football conferences, I think you should put the XC and the USC, not to get confused with the University of Southern California. USC should be the current USFL teams, and the XC should be the current XFL teams. Now, I think the way to rock John, I think you can mix some of the rules with like USFL has and XFL. I think you should just make the kickoff traditional. Maybe you could do something like maybe you could I think you should just merge the rule books together and see what you can do. I think some things should be incorporated from the XFL and some things should be incorporated from the USFL. Now I know USFL is very resistant about stadiums. So to make it feel better, we're gonna do all regular season games and just like the regular home stadiums and all that. Like I think like the home like the regular season is just gonna be in everyone's stadium. Like if it's showboats at Renegades, it's gonna be at Choctaw. If it's Stars at Panthers, it's gonna be in Fort Field, obviously, exactly. You know what I mean? Just like the normal way to do it. But I think for the playoffs, I think you could do that in a neutral location. And maybe you can like rotate every year. I don't know. I think you should put all the playoffs in one spot though, if you want to be like just to make USFL feel better. That way it could be a good collaboration. Like I think like a good state to do it. Like you could maybe you can like choose one state and do that every year. That's like none anyone else's stadium like I think maybe you can manage maybe like in an NFL state like a solid NFL state. I think maybe like um I'm just trying to think. Maybe like Atlanta Stadium, like Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I don't know. Or you can do like if the league is that big. But I think good do that. Oh, see, I think this should happen. I think it will happen. Honestly, I think there's a big possibility. I think it actually will happen at some point. I certainly hope it happens. Yeah. I think if for TV deals, I think the XFL most game it's gonna be like AFC and FC. NFC's most of their games are on Fox. AFC most of their games are on CBS. I think they should find a way to split the deal with where ESPN gets the majority of the XFL games and USFL gets the majority of um Fox gets the majority of USFL games. Or maybe like Sunday, like primetime games. I think for the primetime games, you can put you maybe can give like Fox a slot and ESPN a slot. But I think like primetime games, you can put NBC the channel to do it because I know USFL has NBC too. So yeah, I think all the primetime games should be on NBC. Yeah. Maybe like on stream. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this streaming thing. I think it's just gonna get hard to get used to. That's my problem. Yeah. Yeah, there's that. I think it should happen. I think it will happen. I think they're gonna have no choice but to do it one day. I don't know. I think it is a good way because people get mixed between the XFL and USFL all the time. I think you put all those teams in one league, it's gonna do a lot of great things. There's that. There's that. Yeah. Comment down below. What do you think of what I should do? Or not what I what am my idea? Or should I say what do y'all think of my idea? What do you think should happen with these? I think honestly these are the top two spring leagues. It's just gonna be hard to compete with each other. That's the thing. Yeah, but we'll see. I think if they're pretty equal, it's far easier to merge at that point. They're equal and they're doing at least decent, and they can merge. Yeah, it's that because I think they can make a super league. Like I think this like the NFL and the AFL. I think there's that. So, yeah, but this will be really cool to see it happen. Yeah. And maybe in TV deals, for us, maybe you could get like CBS involved if you really wanted to. I don't know. There's that. Anyways, I don't really know what else to think of. Yeah, but that's my idea for XFL USFL merger. I'd say this happened early as 2025 or 2026. I don't know. We'll see. I think it could happen relatively soon. Uh, like a couple of years from now, maybe like 2026. We'll see it. I don't know. Anyway, so I'll make a video when that happens. If I'm still on YouTube at that point, which I probably I'll get YouTube. Come on, not go. Yeah. Anyways, y'all, that's it for this video. I'll try to get a video with Jack soon. He's ending school, I think tomorrow. I think his last day is tomorrow. I've now school for almost a week now. Yeah. Excuse me. Anyways, that's it for this video. I think I got so much watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a nice day and goodbye. See you next one. Peace.